And I too just want to begin by echoing the incredible sense of gratitude that we have for the men and women of law enforcement who are here today and who are here every day, often engaged in a profoundly thankless job, often critiqued, criticized, and never really given the fair due for the mesiras nefesh, for the self-sacrifice that they truly embody. To all of our men and women of law enforcement, know that the Jewish community not only stands behind you, not only stands next to you, but truly appreciates everything you do for us in our greater community each and every day. To thank all of our elected officials and all of the different shuls and congregations and community groups that banded together to create such a special gathering. To be honest, I had a different set of prepared remarks. But then Rabbi Shapiro started chanting, and I don't know how to chant. And then the council president gave such an incredible sermon, better than a sermon that I could give. So instead, I'm just gonna share with you some words from the heart. There's two parts to our gathering today. There's number one, why we're here, and there's number two, what we're going to do. So why are we here? We're here because just a few short weeks ago, a tragedy of epic proportions happened to our people. A tragedy that none of us ever thought we would have to experience again in our lifetime. 1,300 precious men, women, and children murdered. Why? Why? For the crime of being Jewish? For the crime of living in the ancestral Jewish homeland? Thousands injured. And as we sit here in this tranquil little square in Baltimore, over 220 of our brethren, men, women, and children languish, prisoners, hostages in Gaza. That's why we're here. We're here because we cannot be silent. We're here because we know that silence is complicity. We know that when we don't raise our voices and we don't allow the world to see our message, then we're simply agreeing or we're okaying the atrocities visited upon us. Some of you are holding signs that say never again is now. And dear friends, who amongst us ever thought that we would ever have to hold up a placard like that? But we must. The great Hasidic master Rabbi Nachman of Breslov explains that no person is born into the world at a random moment, but rather whenever you find yourself in the world, you're here because God needs you to accomplish something in this particular moment. And for us, diaspora Jewry, our mission is clear. We have to make sure that our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael, in the state of Israel, know that we stand shoulder to shoulder. There are no cracks in our community. We must, as our nation stood at the base of Mount Sinai, ki ish echad belev echad, one people, one heart. That's our sacred mission now. That's what brought us here. The need to be together. Dear friends, understand this is not an Israeli problem. This is not a state of Israel problem with a particular entity, a terrorist entity called Hamas. What we see now is the war of good versus evil. And we, the Jewish people, we, the state of Israel, our precious and magnificent holy soldiers, have the privilege to be the tip of the spear in this battle against evil. The Jewish people are always called upon to be the moral compass of humanity. The Jewish people are always called upon to be an Or Lagoyim, a light unto the nations. Well, dear friends, that's what we're doing. We are a light unto the nations because we are showing the world that when evil doesn't knock on your, when evil kicks down your door, you take the fight back to them. Because evil, the kind of evil that we have witnessed and experienced, that type of evil has no place in the community of mankind. Because right now they came to Kibbutz Be'eri, Kfar Aza, but if that evil is left unchecked, it'll show up at every doorstep and every community all around the world. We are here today because we stand with our precious state of Israel. We stand with our precious soldiers. We stand with our brothers and sisters. And we stand together with the light and all of those fighting against the darkness of evil. But there's one last piece. And dear friends, I just ask you, take a moment to just look around. How many different communities do we have here united? Jews, non-Jews, all kinds of people. It shouldn't take a tragedy to unite us. And it shouldn't take the loss of thousands of Jews. It shouldn't take hostages to allow our greater community to set aside its differences and be able to collaborate together for the common interests we all hold dear. My greatest fear is that when this chapter comes to an end, and it will, we will all retreat back to our corners. We'll all dig in to our notions, to our beliefs, and exclude the other. Do you feel the achdus? Do you feel the unity? Do you feel the togetherness? What brought us here is tragedy. But what each and every one of us here today have to pledge is, although tragedy brought us together, we will not allow the unity to dissipate. We are an Am Echad, one nation with one beating heart. And with the incredible help of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of the Ribbon Shalom of God Almighty, and with the incredible bravery of the soldiers of the IDF, and the incredible unity of all the Jewish communities around the world, we will once again be victorious. As we say at the Pesach Seder in Vihisha Amda, Shebechol dar vadar omdim aleinu l'chalosenu. We are not strangers to adversity, and we are not strangers to terror, and we are not strangers to animalistic, barbaric behavior. The difference is all of our past tormentors are exactly that, past tormentors. But dear friends, we are still here, and we will always be here, together, united as one nation.